Hey everybody, well our live did not go as planned last night, so here I am. I'm going to do you a quick video. It won't be quick. We're doing full coverage this morning, so normally I do rave about how this makeup is a 5-minute makeup. I can be done and out the door in 5 minutes, but sometimes I want a little more coverage. Maybe I'm going out on a date or with my husband, or maybe it's a girls' night, you know, so even to church I like to kind of wear a little bit more. Now daily errands, I don't mind to just wear a lighter application, but sometimes I want a little more. So I am gonna start with this Bella bronzer. It is fantastic. It's gonna give you kind of an inner glow. I like to put it on first when I'm doing this. And so I'm just going to buff this around. This is the bronzer and blush brush. It may be the other way around, but. So I'm just gonna do a little, just a light application. It's not very much at all. Ooh. The fluffy end here is super fluffy. I love it. And you can go down your neck, and if you're wearing a V-neck, you might go a little bit lower. But that's just kind of, some people just put it where their contour goes. I like it everywhere. Okay, so I've got that. Now I'm gonna do my under eye correcting with Mango. And Aspen for redness. So the Aspen and Mango, you can even kind of mix it. I just put it on any red areas. Just gonna tap a little Mango. These little darker spots. I'm experimenting, trying to find what covers my, I guess that's melasma or age spots, I'm not quite sure. So something, even if you're doing a light application or a full coverage, the Perfector sponge is one of my favorite things. You run it under water, and it normally is a little bit smaller, and it puffs up. And you squeeze out as much as you can a couple times, and then get a towel and squeeze out as much as you can. And then by the time you need it, it's about the right wetness, I would say. This Perfector sponge, it's going to pick up any excess product so that you don't have a kind of caked on look. Okay, so and especially if you're my age or older and you happen to have these happy smile lines or these forehead lines from what are you doing, that's where they come from. Okay, so now since it's full coverage, you're gonna take your main highlight, and that's gonna be that, it's a bit darker. So you come with two highlights, a lighter one that's a brightening highlight, and then a little bit darker shade. That's basically your main color. So you are going to be putting it kind of everywhere, but very lightly. So I want to show you. You're just tapping, barely. Even though we're going for a full coverage look, it doesn't necessarily mean we are packing the makeup on, if that makes sense. So we're just going to be placing this all over. Okay, and then again with the Perfector sponge, we're just setting these layers in place. I can tell a big difference if I use that Bella bronzer first. If you don't have the Bella bronzer, just skip that step. Okay, now I'm gonna go to my contour. Okay, moving on to our contour color. I am using the color Astoria. I always like to start with my cheekbones. You're pressing this up right along your cheekbone. I just like how it gives this little kind of a wider contour. You can kind of tell your cheekbone. I wouldn't go past the color of your eye because you don't really want it to get into your smile lines. Okay. We contoured the outer edges of our face and we're making shadows out there. And what we're doing is brightening up the center of our face. So you do your forehead, your cheekbones, and also your jawline. If you want to hide any double chin, you put just a little bit behind the prominent part of your chin. So anything you're adding this shade, this contour to, it's going to hide it and fall back. And anything you're adding light to, you know, it's going to bring it forward, bring it to light. You've heard that. If you, you know, if you have a dirty room, you can turn the light off and nobody notices. There's your tip of the day. Darker shades, you know, black, they say makes you look slimmer. So we're hiding things. Okay, so I've got my contour in the places I need it, here and here. You also contour your nose, but I'm gonna do that at the end. I'm gonna flip my detail brush over. This is a must. And I'm gonna use that smaller end to do my brightening highlight. So far we've done our bronzer underneath, then we did our color correcting, and then we put our main color in a lot of places. And so now I'm going to get my brightening highlight. That's the lighter shade that you're matched with. I like to go down, especially if I'm doing fuller coverage. I like to make a little kind of a triangle here, and I like to bring it out. With this makeup, you do a lot of tapping. It's kind of pressing into your skin. Okay, so we get our triangle there. So this brightening, remember I said the darker shades are on the outside, and now we're working our way in, and the brightening color makes a cross right here in the middle. You've heard the T-zone, so that's what we're doing here. Okay. Let me contour my nose. I forgot again. You're just gonna make a couple of lines here down the outsides of your nose. If I've said this before, if you have a bump, you can just put, if you wanna hide something, you make it a little bit darker, you give it a shade. So you could put a line somewhere. If your nose is long, you can even kind of darken the end so it shortens it if you'd like. There are so many ways. If there's anything you want to hide or bring less attention to. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna buff this up. Cheeks, I like to press up. We want our cheeks lifted. Back here. We want to get back by the hairline and bring the shade forward. If you can hear my kids, I'm so sorry. Just kind of buffing around. I'm gonna do pink grapefruit today. So I've mentioned this before, but before I could only wear like nude colors because my cheeks were just so red. And I did start the skincare system a couple weeks ago, and I can tell a big difference in the redness of my skin. I don't know if it's the toner or what, but and a little color correcting, but I have used less color correction on my cheeks than I did when I started. But I used to not be able to wear pink shades because I felt like it just accentuated the redness. So I'm really happy to be able to do this. Okay. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and set that with my perfector sponge. And then on days like this, I like to use my illuminator. It just adds a little shine. This is Pearl. Honey is really pretty. Rose Gold is really pretty. If you're just looking for, like if you just use a bronzer to tan up your skin, you can go for the day. There's a illuminator called Glow, and it is really pretty with the bronzer. Okay. I think it's a little cheeky. Oh, sorry. So our lip and cheek colors, of course, are dual purpose. I don't know, you probably could use that for some eyeshadow. Might be a little wild. Okay, so this would be my full coverage look where I've put on just a little bit more. I think I like it. I do like it. I love it. So don't forget your setting spray at the end. I like to put it on my perfector sponge and dab around. And if you have some oily spots, you know, you can use a brush and put on some setting powder in your T-zone. My chin tends to get a little bit oily, so I can add it there. But other than that, I kind of like this full coverage look. But listen, don't get me wrong, that 5-minute makeup routine is gonna be my go-to most of the time. Thank you.